Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Can anyone
Hi.
hear me?
I can
I
hear at least.
can.
I can hear you.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Ark number 9. Today we have a spicy one. Holy cow. It's our Western release. The cues, the fun, the islands, the Lullaby Island memes, all of it is going to be covered in today's episode. Yeah. Thank you for joining me, by the way, to all of you who are watching. Very nice of you to come by. And big thank you to my guests. As always, starting from the left to the right, let's just drag Sadie like this. Sadie, one of the Lost Ark Week superhero legends that got there to meet the Lost Ark team. Amazing. We're going to talk about that in a moment. Then we have Lino. Then we have Wilky right here. And lastly, myself, yours truly. First of all, I would like to say congratulations to Sadie for being invited there and getting to meet the Lost Ark team. I cannot actually wait to hear the whole story. I'm so excited. I cannot even tell you. I cannot forget to move myself in game.
Oh,
Please.
shit. Thank you.
Yeah.
Keep forgetting.
The most important thing in our Western release is to log in the morning and keep moving. Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's how it
That
is.
Or
is
stay
how
up
it
all
is.
night.
Or
Stay in the game.
all night.
Been
Exactly.
there, done that. But
Of course, there's various other methods that I see people doing. I see some people running into a wall. Those people don't know yet that you still get disconnected, but they will learn in the next 20k queue. Cool. So I also wanted to congratulate, by the way, Lino for I don't know for what, for being part of the esports. What was that? Where was that thing? Lino,
Yes.
Lin-
Esports
Lin-
Performance Academy. Yeah. Got brought on as a Lost Ark coach for PvP now. So
there we
we'll see how
go.
that goes.
Lino, a Lost
you.
Ark coach, absolutely 100% deserved. So congratulations. Now, congratulations are over. We're gonna take questions from you guys as well. Thank you so much again for joining me. Very nice of you. Later on down the road, we're gonna take some questions. Put them on the screen. Sadie, I wanna start by asking you, how was the trip? Did you meet the game director? This is my number one question.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. But I mean, I didn't really talk to him much because I didn't want to be that person, I thought I'll just leave him alone and,
Right.
chill. But yeah, I mean, he was there. So we had a day before we had like rehearsals, and he was actually there for that, which is kind of crazy because why is he coming to rehearsals for the show? So
Okay.
interesting. And yeah, so I saw him then, and we pretty much spent half the day there. So I was with him for half a day, and then the day of the show was like the complete day. He did have his own room, but it wasn't like closed or anything. It's very nice, quiet, and yeah, I got to actually get a signature. So
Stop it! Stop! No, don't show me these things! Don't show me these things! What? I'm gonna commit harakiri. No. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is so nice. So that's his signature on a. Who gave you that seedling, by the way?
This one?
Yeah.
I made this myself. Like this is my
Right.
thingy.
Right.
But yeah, so I got this signed, and when I asked him, like he was very nice, and I could have asked him probably for more, but I don't know, I just didn't want to. I also took a photo with him and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But yeah, I
Who
know.
else? Who else signed your seedling there?
No one.
No one. Okay.
Nope.
Nobody from Amazon Games. I would have asked at least Rocks and Sci-Fi for a signature. Somewhere at
I mean,
yeah, somewhere on the hand, not on the forehead, but just saying, I would have still done it myself.
yeah.
Nice one. Okay, that was cool. If it would be me, you said that his room, he had his own room and stuff, but it wasn't closed. If it would be me, I would go to his room in the middle of the night, tell stories about sailing in Lost Ark, maybe get Island Hearts, speak about the pirates, and awesome.
Right.
Awesome, really nice.
Yeah.
Very jealous, very jealous. So you spent a whole week there.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I did.
And
It was kind of stressful because so I'm located in Germany, right? And
mm-hmm.
I had to go to the West Coast, and that's like an almost 11-hour flight. And I was so horribly jet lagged. And the last 2 days that I was there, I tried to play Lost Ark in my hotel room, but so I was trying to log into Kadan from the West Coast. I like hor- I had a horrible time, and yeah, I didn't get
Okay.
far, so I was super stressed the whole time. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm falling behind. Everyone's gonna be done with
Yeah.
everything, and I'm still like, you know,
Right.
lagging behind." But yeah, so I've been
Right.
playing nonstop since I'm back, so it's okay
Awesome.
now.
So did you caught up a little bit, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. So you're telling me and all of the fans that are watching that it doesn't mean necessarily that if you missed a couple of days, you're already screwed, you're behind, you're done.
Right. I mean, yeah, so the thing is I didn't want to miss the like first weekly because yeah, I don't know, that makes me sad. But so I did that. Right now I'm currently trying to get through Rohendel with 2 characters. Um but yeah, I don't know. So one thing actually that is interesting, so I talked to the translators at the show, right? So the director had his translators with him, and they spoke English, obviously.
Yeah.
And they actually were super surprised about the fact that the audience and the people were kind of upset about T3. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like maybe a week or so ago, or like 2 weeks ago, I don't know when they announced it, but when they said that
Yeah.
we get T3 on release,
Yeah.
a lot of people were angry about that, right? And they didn't really understand that at all. And so
Mhm.
if you watch the interview at the end, Gold River kind of says that, take your time with the game, right? And that was probably kind of in relation to that because they talked about it after that.
Mhm.
So,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah, I would have explained to him why people are upset. I guess people were a little bit afraid. Um, cool. That's nice. That's a nice story. Lino, can you also tell us what happened with this PvP academy? I'm actually curious. So they hired you as a coach. Who are you gonna coach there?
Yeah, that's right.
Tell
Well,
us the
anybody
whole
that's
thing.
that's the whole thing. Well, so if anybody's been following the competitive scene in Lost Ark, we had the Archives Arena, which is like a tournament that was hosted during the beta. We also had like Ark Rivalry, which is like a little 1v1 exhibition that happened in Russia in January. And one of the sponsors for this tournament series that kind of we already have, well, the tournaments already had, and the tournament series that we'll be having over the course of this coming year. Well, EPA is one of them. But well, if you want to sponsor something, that means you have to be able to make money out of it. And well, they need some Lost Ark coaches if they want to generate interest in Lost Ark. So I ended up getting into contact with them as a result of a lot of the stuff that we did with Sage, and I PvP a lot, needless to say. So we talked a little, and they decided to bring me in as their first Lost Ark coach. So Now, if anybody feels like they need something to get a little bit better in PvP and they don't really know what to do, hopefully I can be of help, and we'll see how that goes in the future.
Awesome. So this is basically, let's say, a paid product on their website when the PvP scene in Lost Ark is going to grow a little bit, when people are going to be ready, it's going to get more competitive with left and right tournaments. Then people might actually make a PvP team and get their services for coaching them in that sense. This is where you come into play.
Yeah, pretty much. It can be individuals or teams as well, right? So it can be like individual coaching. So, hey, I don't know, like I'm hard stuck gold. I don't know what I need to do to get the plat, to get the diamond. What is it that I have to do? I look at my gameplay and I don't know what it is that I can do to improve. Or it can be, you know, like they do stuff with collegiate teams as well. So, oh, hey, we have like a competitive team. We want to be able to participate in tournaments and we want to be able to compete and win things. So how is it that we can work better as a team? And then we work together with the EPA team to make sure that they have the kind of holistic support that they need to step up their game when it comes to PvP. Because, PvP in this game, it may be new for a lot of people, but it's been around for over 3 years now. So there's a lot of catching up to do in a way when it comes to that kind of competitive game mode, right?
I did my weeklies in PvP. Holy cow, it was easy.
Well, that's a luxury that you can have for now. So
holy cow, it was instant, like 5 minutes per win. Only wins 100% success rate. I'm gonna screenshot this and put it as my wallpaper. This is the only time it's gonna happen.
Wow.
But yeah, it was good. All right. So I would pay any amount of money to get coached by Lin-0. Just saying, in PvP. I'm just gonna say it as it is. Being quite frank, he's very well spoken. He's very knowledgeable, and he's played a lot of PvP. So 100% recommended from the Ark. Wilky, hello.
Hello.
What you drinking there?
That's self-made banana milk in a mug.
Ooh.
Banana milk, is that like a personal preference? I've never seen anyone drinking.
No, that's literally just banana, and you put it into milk and you blend it, and that's it.
I know. It's like a drink, right? They sell it in the shops also. A flavored milk.
Sort of. Yeah, kind of like that.
Right. Gotcha. Wilky, I wanted to ask you, thumbs up for Amazon PR team before the release for all of the hype. Do you think they did a good job? I personally would like to give them 2 thumbs up to the PR team for getting the hype up. Obviously, there were some local content creators which are smaller and are part of the content creator program that were a little bit upset that nothing was, let's say, done for everyone in the creator program. However, I still want to give Amazon 2 thumbs up for the hype that they generated before that. Would you agree with that, or do you think it was a successful promotion campaign for Lost Ark? We're gonna get to launch later.
I would say absolutely, because I would say they started fairly late with the advertisement, if you will, but when they started it off, they blasted like bazillions channels. They made the Berserker sword crafting, like the blacksmiths from the channel on YouTube. And they just rolled it out on a lot of platforms, and all of a sudden everybody and their mom was streaming Lost Ark, was talking about Lost Ark, was everywhere. There was banners on various websites. So I think they really, really did put the effort down. I think they could have done it a little bit sooner, but I think in all things to compare, they did a really good job, and they brought in a lot of people, as we can still see to this day.
Right. What do you guys think about the 1.3 million or 1.1 million at the moment on a Tuesday?
I mean, it's insane. It's the second most played game on Steam. So it's been a very explosive success. If anything, suffering from success is what I would say. They were a little bit too successful. I think that's the issues that they're facing right now.
Right. Suffering from success. It was very nice that we had so many players. I believe that part of these 1.1 million are also all the people that are waiting in queue, because Steam picks up the fact that you have Lost Ark opened, and if you're in a queue, then that means you're playing Lost Ark according to Steam. What? Are there any queues in NA? Some people in chat are saying NA is fine. Only EU has queues as far as I know. Why is that? Do you think it's because of the servers, or do you think it's because just that fewer people play on NA?
I think it's just that few people play on an A. But, like, I'm not gonna say they don't have queues because I'm pretty sure they do. It's just that the queues progress relatively quickly. You can see that they had to perform specifically maintenance on the EU servers multiple times to quote unquote increase capacity. And we have, I guess, more servers than like NA East, for example. Like they've added, I guess, as many servers as they can. We've probably hit, some sort of infrastructure limit, and I guess they underestimated how popular the game would have been in EU. And well, now we are where we are now with a new region having to be released specifically to deal with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think, Sadie, that there is how is it possible actually? This is something that I don't understand. How is it possible that NA, granted in EU there's a lot of little countries, but America, North America, is one big country. How is it possible that there's so many more players in EU than NA?
Actually, I was just thinking, it's so weird to me because we were just talking about Amazon doing a really good job at hyping the game, right? But
Yeah.
so if you're kind of a content creator, then you probably know that they are mostly doing stuff with like NA people, and they're mostly pushing like the NA stuff, right? Which
Exactly,
makes
right?
it even crazier to me that it's so much bigger here in EU. So I don't know, it's kind of crazy. I don't know how and why that is. Maybe more people are logging onto the European servers who are maybe not even part of Europe, perhaps. I don't know, really.
All right. I was thinking. Let me just quickly pull up this screen of myself. I was actually thinking just here to show the people what is exactly happening with the servers. They have pushed Lost Ark in North America a lot, even with this week of Lost Ark, right? There has been a lot of things going on in NA for it. They haven't done a week of Lost Ark in EU so far. Did they do this in NA because they already noticed from the beta that NA is kind of lackluster in terms of player base? Because if we take a look at the servers that we have in front of us right now, we have West NA and East NA. These two regions are NA, right? We have 3, 5, 7 servers in West, and we have 5 here, that's 12, another 5 that's 17, and another 5 that is 22 servers for NA. Then we have Central Europe, which has 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 plus another 6, that is 19 servers. So North America has more servers than Europe does.
That's to
And
combine both regions, though, right? I think that's the issue, and I guess that's why they're creating a new region specifically for Central Europe, because you can't check any more servers within it. An analogy that I was given was like, if your glass of water is full, you have to get another glass, I guess, and
Right.
that's what we're having here.
I see. So, okay. Well, obviously, I don't understand theoretically how this works. At what level do the servers cap out in terms of why can't we just have more servers in the same kind of region? Why do we need to split them up? Because at the moment, there's more servers in one region of Europe than there are in East North America. So that means more servers are a possibility, but I guess then you start lagging with the party queue, because that's another thing that's happening right now. The fact that people are actually lagging in the party queue. So it's just a weird situation overall that I really hope they're going to get a grip on. Apparently, NA is all good, no problems, perfectly fine. It's only EU who's affected, which is actually something that I didn't know up until now. Cool. Well, that means that... what do you think about this adding a new region, by the way, in EU? Who is going to actually get there, and don't they need to incentivize this a little bit better? I'm not going to go there unless they copy-paste my characters over.
I don't think they're doing this for us. I think they're doing this for brand new players. I think, I'm going to be honest, I think it's a terrible idea, but I think it's the only idea that they have left, right? Is I guess you have to choose the lesser evil at this point. And that's the only thing that they can do, because a new region means, you don't have the shared auction house, you don't have shared rating, you don't have, shared queues, like PvP as well is going to be separate. Pretty much everything is separate. And we've already seen a lot of controversy happen between NA West and NA East when it comes to this. I guess you can justify it with like, oh, there's a ping difference, which you can also justify with EU, although I think it's highly unlikely that they will build that anywhere other than where they've already built the Central Europe server. So I think they're doing this for, people who are new, people who want to come in the game, and people who would be technically clogging up the queue, going into this new region because, well, they're not very high investment as of yet. I think as veteran players, as people who are already established, are going to be remaining anyways. This is more for, hey, are you a new player and you want to try out this game? This is the region that you go to, and that essentially allows for the game to continue to grow and to continue to, gain popularity without severely affecting the players that are already in EU Central.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Someone was saying in the chat that they've said that due to infrastructure of the game, they cannot add more servers to the single region. Okay, I guess that's fine.
I mean, that's what they said in the official post on the Playlist Ark website. We don't obviously know what their actual technical limitations are, but it's fair to assume that the Smilegate developers maybe never tested to that amount, because usually in software development there is a lot of testing, but maybe they just didn't test for constant 1 million plus concurrent users in one single region. So there might be limitations that they simply have never reached, which would be bad if that's the case. But if it is the case, then that's the only logical step is to make like Europe 2 in order to like offload the other people. Like Lin said, I don't think they want us to switch. And frankly speaking, who would want to switch with, I don't know how many hours you spent. I spent around already 100 hours, and I don't want to do it again. I don't want to re-level 1 to 50. I don't want to do islands again. I don't want to do all that stuff again, because we did it I don't know how many times on I don't know how many servers.
Yeah.
I don't really feel like doing it just once more.
Honestly,
but yeah.
I think that a lot of people would be fine doing that. The issue is any investment that you put financially into your character is going to be gone, right? So everybody's going to get 2 founders packs technically now. If you choose not to change server, you're going to have to make do with 1 with this new system if they decide to transfer over, right? You maybe already bought some costumes in the game, or you already started, making some money in the auction house, etc. Now, you now have to spend that money again. You can't just refund what you bought off of the cash shop at the same time, right?
Do you think that...
I think that's a monetary issue as well, which they don't seem to be replacing or refunding, and that's going to prevent a lot of people from moving, even if they would have wanted to, because like, well, I just bought 7 costumes for my characters. Am I going to have to spend another $100 now in another region, for example?
Mm-hmm.
That's an issue.
Do you
but I
maybe
think mostly sorry.
No, you go on, please. Yeah.
Okay. I think mostly you kind of already said it. I think the people who would really go to this other region are just people who maybe have been trying to get into the game, and maybe since the get-go they have been spending a lot of time in queues. So I think those people who don't really give a fuck, they can just go to those regions. And then for the people like us who really, care about where we are, where we made our guilds and stuff like that, we can, have like a little bit less of a load of like an influx of people. I think it's a good idea, actually.
Right. If they would... Okay, so I actually don't even know when exactly they're going to open up this region for EU. I'm still in shock, by the way. I apologize. I'm still in shock to hear that NA didn't have any problems. I thought this is for everyone. So basically, I'm sitting in a goddamn queue in EU while everyone else is gearing up in NA, and then I'm wondering why I only have 100 hours in Lost Ark when in fact I spent 50 hours in a queue. Anyway, okay, so now at least I understand. I'm a little bit in shock. I thought this was for everyone, but it appears that it's just for us in EU. Even though I'm just like really surprised that we filled up all of the
biggest population, so that's why we have the most issues. I'm 100% confident that NA people also have issues, just not as big as like our servers are literally dying in a fire. You can tell every day, like starting 1700 UTC, everybody's coming home, everybody's trying to log in. It gets progressively worse to the point where I think right now, if you were to try and do anything that's cross server, Chaos Dungeons, Garden Raids, you're clicking on the button and you're praying that it registers like 30 seconds later and that you don't miss the queue pop.
Yeah.
And that like around midnight that starts to get better again, but yeah, I don't think NA people have to deal with that.
I see. All right. Perfectly fine. In EU, in that, I apologize. In EU, in that case, just for everyone to know, we have actually quite a lot of problems. Like Wilky said, also with the party queue, you apply for something and then you have to wait for like, I don't know, 20 seconds before anything pops up. You click the cash shop, nothing happens, and then 2 hours later the cash shop opens when I'm in a raid. That's fun. When I have to dodge a mechanic, then I get a cash shop pop in front of my screen. Anyway, so it's a little bit weird. But in that case, if it's just us, then I'm really happy. Out of these 1.1 million players that are currently online, is there any way to tell which ones are playing on the European servers and how many on the NA servers?
Good question. We can tell how many people there are in queue because a lot of people have made, individually queues for different servers and picked up the queue numbers. And I think we have just 300,000 people in queue for Europe alone. That's just like people in Europe queuing. That's not people in Europe gaming. So that's a number that I can give you right now. I'm not so sure about how many people are actively within the game and playing the game within the European region, but it may be. I'm not even going to say higher because I can't tell. It may be that there are more people in queue than people playing the game at this point. We honestly don't know.
Yeah, you know what's fun in EU? When you sit in a queue for 2.5 hours, and that's a small queue, by the way, and then at the end of the queue, you get a message, sorry, a server error, start again from the beginning, and it's later now, so it's more people in the queue because you approach the prime time. Anyway, okay, so all sorts of problems. Other than that, what do you guys have any warm thoughts about release so far? How should people deal with queues? Any advice to people to make their lives better?
I don't have any issues personally, but I just log in super early and then I just stay in.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Lino, go ahead.
I was gonna say that there's two ways to avoid it. One is having a proper schedule. So if you're like Sadie and you wake up at a reasonable time, like a reasonable human being, and you either work from home or you get to stay at home, you can log in at like 8 a.m. and you're not gonna really find any queues. Alternatively, you can be a complete and utter degenerate and just wake up at 2 in the morning and then queue. That also works out because you're gonna find like less than 500 people in queue if you're trying to log in at 2 a.m. Although you probably still find a queue, mind you. It's that bad. And the other alternative option that you can have, which a lot of people have been doing, is if you don't happen to work at home or you can't log in early or you can't afford to have degenerate hours, is get TeamViewer. Get TeamViewer, and you have to pay to win some hardware. Essentially, just get your mobile to have get a good mobile that you can run TeamViewer on. Connect that to your PC, and make sure that you start logging in via TeamViewer around like lunchtime or so. You're gonna stay in queue for about 4 to 5 hours, but hopefully by the time you get back home, you're gonna be just about in game. So
Right.
invest in TeamViewer, I guess, is what I would say. And,
I heard Wilky that you've actually in this time you've trained your cat to log you in. Is that correct?
I'm still in the process of teaching her how to exactly use the mouse because she typically only plays with mice and then usually ends up eating them. So
Right.
there's
It's a
little bit of
problem because they don't have thumbs. That's why.
Exactly. So it's not that easy. But yeah, on that topic, somebody in my stream earlier said, just teach your spouse to log into the game for you if that's an option for you. I'd just like to add that to the options that Lino already mentioned. If you have somebody at home that you trust and that supports you wanting to play the game, just have them, if they can, like log in or sort it out for you.
Who's going to go to this new region? Players that are new, that we already discussed. Players who have not yet committed to the game. Should players be afraid of going to a completely different region with its own economy, its own groups, or are there going to be enough of these players going there? Obviously, not a single veteran player or someone that knows about the game is going to go there. Or, of course, I'm exaggerating. Maybe there will be some people who are going to go, right? But all I'm saying is that that's going to be the true 2018 Lost Ark experience when someone is asking, how do I get out of a dungeon? And nobody can answer. They're all going to be stuck in the first dungeon because we don't know the Song of Escape. And there, if there's only new players like we're anticipating, right, or like we're recommending, then they're all gonna be stuck in Agilos's head.
I mean, with the absolutely overwhelmingly positive response that we had with the game when it comes to people coming in, I have to say that's already the case in our current region. I think the new players outnumbers veterans by like a gazillion to one. So
Of
I
course.
think that isn't really gonna change.
Yeah. Thoughts on if it's incentivized enough? What do you think, Wilky?
I don't think there's enough incentive, although the big incentive is already basically you get to play the game instead of playing the Cube Simulator, right? That's already a fairly big incentive, considering that you can't play at all for, like, a lot of people can't play at all, unfortunately. I do think they should also create an something I'd like to call optional or like switch incentive, right? To actually, because there are some people that are definitely on the brink. Maybe other people couldn't play, and now their friends have to play on the completely separate region, so they might want to play together. So ideally, they would find like a middle ground where it's like, look, we know we can't like port everything. We can't just copy paste your character onto a new server, but we're giving you, let's say, a free character boost or an extra package or something that would like at least soothe the pain, right? It's not the best solution. It's definitely a band-aid solution, but it might be enough to just bring that one or two extra people over, because I think right now on average we have like 200,000 people sitting in European queues, maybe even more. The last screenshot that somebody posted on Reddit was like over 200,000 people just sitting in queue.
Wow.
Even if like only 50,000 of those people were switching to the new region, that's still more than enough. That's way more than we had on Russia. They could easily fill an entire region. The auction house is going to be full. The party browser is going to be full. So I don't think population is really a big issue, even on a new server. It's just that you might have to leave friends, family, guild members behind, which is why I think it would be ideal if Amazon did create some kind of path for people that still want to play together. It's like, all right, I got to leave my stuff behind, but I get something in return. I might still do it.
What about this then? Server transfers. Do you think that allowing server transfers just to the new region, I don't think that's technically possible to go from one region to transfer your server to another region. This way we could have taken our characters from Russia, right? If that would be possible. But anyway, just saying, server transfer maybe a technical solution could be found from Europe to Europe, but only from the old servers to the new ones. No other way around. No Kadan to Zinnervale or Zinnervale to Mokoko or whatever. Just from old to the new Europe region. Is this a
Well,
bad idea or a good idea?
That's the only way that makes sense, in my opinion, because otherwise people are just going to switch around back and forth to different servers, and that's not going to help anybody. So they got to do it like in a one-way road. But I think they said, and I think Rox even said it in one of the forum posts, that transfers are not going to be a thing, because apparently it's still even in tests just in Korea. So I think they're not probably happy, or they don't have enough data to actually promote it for the people, even though that basically would be the best solution to offer transfers.
Yeah.
But I think they're just not happy enough or not confident enough that offering that service or talking about it even would not create more issues. Maybe they would have to backpedal, or imagine what would happen if people transfer servers and then all of a sudden characters are missing, your gear is missing. Like, you're going to have a 1,100 item level character because it's imprinted on it, but he actually doesn't have gear. So you have to go back to like Lutera and kill like level 20 mobs to get gear or something. That doesn't help anybody either. So I think they're having a lot of technical things to figure out there yet. But I think ideally they would allow us to transfer servers, yes.
Sadie, do you agree with the server transfers one way? Would you use a server transfer if all of your guild would say, hey, let's go to the new region, no queues, no fast? Would you go there, Sadie?
Personally, no, because like some people in chat were like, oh, so basically she's just saying don't have a job, and like, yeah, essentially I don't have a problem with queue because I log in very early and I just play the whole day. So for me, it's not really an issue right now. And also at this point, I don't know, I identify with Kadan now. Like, it's just I feel like I want to stay there, and I think with the new servers, obviously we're gonna have a lot more newcomers, and so maybe, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I would do it personally.
Mhm. Yeah, I can actually relate to that to a degree. The fact that I'm on Kadan now, like everyone already knows that I'm on Kadan. I've given up
Right.
already a lot to be on Kadan. I'm not with Wilky, for example, where his guild went, even though have a good relationship with him and his guild. Yeah, that's why it would be a little bit hard, but highly encouraged from my point of view. You don't have to, by the way, if you don't feel good about it. If you still have friends playing in this particular Central Europe region, you shouldn't necessarily switch. Let other people switch who are alone or who are all of their friends in the same queue and new
Right.
players. Um, but yeah, I had a question here, not a question, an advice from one of the viewers. Increase your AFK timer to 60 minutes. As far as I know, that is just useful to until it places the AFK on top of your head, not necessarily right now with our release, so that you wouldn't get kicked out. Or maybe one of you smart people can confirm that I'm wrong.
I haven't really tried anything to
Well,
prevent
I
getting
mean,
kicked out.
if that's really enough to extend the AFK duration on the server, then mad props to whoever programmed it. But I wouldn't be surprised if it
No,
does actually work. I personally haven't tried it, and I don't think it will. But also, I
this is
wouldn't bank my hopes on that.
so just to give some context, this is actually a setting within the game, right? A setting that you can set how long before the game sets your character as AFK, and thus putting you a title on top of your head away from keyboard. As far as I knew, this is just a way to tell other people that's why you're not replying to chat or whatever.
That's right. I've
Doesn't
seen a lot
affect.
of people with that AFK thing. People saying, oh, this person has AFK, whatever, and well, they're clearly in game, so probably doesn't work out. Maybe an old wives' tale there that we're getting, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
All right.
if you have nothing else to do, might as well give it a go. I'm not gonna risk my my 6-hour queue wait period to do that. And on that note, I will reminder to wiggle your character around in
Yeah.
the game.
Always,
Otherwise, you're
if
gonna
you're
get looted too.
if you're watching the stream, don't just watch and be AFK. Go alt tab in between the stream and the game, move a little bit so that you wouldn't disconnect for later when you actually want to play after you stop watching us, right? Steam reviews. Let me just quickly bring bring the screen up. I'm going to bring everything up for you guys. Not Steam, sorry, Steam reviews. That's what I want to bring up. So if we go to the store page of Lost Ark here, I'm gonna also bring up the screen. I apologize. Let's do it like this, yeah. And then I'm gonna bring up the screen. Look at that. Look at that handsome man. Okay, so if we look for Lost Ark, so far in the first days of launch, they were very positive. Right now, as you can see, they are mixed. The recent reviews, 66,948 are mixed, and all of the reviews, 68,000, are also right now mixed. 66%, by the way, of these people gave a thumb down to Lost Ark. Before, many years ago, I actually used to be bothered by people who give the game a thumbs down just because there are server problems. However, I'm starting to, I don't know, maybe understand them a little bit. What do you guys think? Obviously, it's not fair to give a lovely game such as Lost Ark a mixed review here on Steam and maybe give the wrong impression to everyone else just because Amazon cannot handle European queues. But on the other side, people have paid for founders packs, real money. People are not fans like we are. They haven't been invested for years like we are. They don't know the game like we do. So people, this is just a game on Steam for them, right? Can I play this game? I cannot even play this game. So
Yeah.
like it's annoying. I get disconnected. I have a Beatrice's Aura bug. I have cash shop bug. I cannot queue up. Location error and all sorts of. What do you guys think about this mixed? Can we come back from this? There's 66,000 reviews at the moment.
I mean, it's a complicated one. Like, I can't blame anybody for giving a negative review because that's their experience with the game, and their experience is entirely legitimate. If you can't play the game, then well, it doesn't matter whether it's the game that's bad or the publisher that's bad or the server that's bad. If something's bad, and that's destroying your enjoyment of the game. So you have the right to give it a negative review. I think it'd be great if people rescind those reviews once the game, then has these things fixed. It's unlikely that that will happen, but I guess it's something that we'll see in due time. I wish that people could have been a little bit more reserved with the negative reviews when it comes to things like this, because it is just it is a launch issue. I do not remember a single MMO that has had a smooth
Yeah.
launch. Even like small niche minor MMOs that you think very few people play, they still have rocky launches, right? Every MMO seems to have a rocky launch, and I think it's one of those things where at this point, if you've played MMOs, you should expect this to be a part of the package. But well, a lot of people don't know that or don't understand that, and it's actually perfectly fine for them because they have the right of it. I think the game is good enough, and there are enough people playing this that those that do stick around will give it positive reviews in the long run once these issues are fixed. Well, sadly, right now it is deserving of these negative reviews because when an entire region is unable to play the game, well, what can you do?
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Sadie?
Honestly, I've been thinking that maybe some of these reviews, like obviously we get a lot of reviews here, which are, the mixed ones due to the queuing problem and the, missing crystalline auras and all of that stuff. But actually, I still see a lot of people who are genuinely super mad about the existence of this game simply because it's a Korean MMO. Like, I still fight with people every single day about it being a trash mobile pay to win game and we're all stupid for playing it. And I see that in the area chat, in the actual game. So people actually download the game just to come in and say that kind of stuff. So I think some of these reviews are actually just the haters, I guess. And then some of them are the, the queue issues, which I understand. It's pretty frustrating because at this point you want to grind, you want to get your gear, you want to actually progress, and you can because you can't queue into a dungeon with anyone because it doesn't work. So I get it, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Most recent reviews, as those of you who are watching can see here, are actually, let's say, to the positive side, or at least a thumbs up in the review, even though the comment contains some negativity as well. This person is saying this game was announced in 2013. Now I am fat and bald, but thank God I can play the game. Someone is saying, I got my driver's license, married my wife, bought a house and a car, adopted 2 cats while waiting for this game since its announcement. These are the funniest memes I have ever seen in my life. I like the quests where you pick things up and put them down. Thumbs up
Yeah,
to
that
Lost
one.
Ark for that. Right? So overall, people are having, let's say, a positive attitude. But like Lino said, I believe that it's somewhat deserving of the mixed reviews, at least for now.
Yeah, I wish there was a way to separate. Like, I wish that Steam had the 2 review systems. They had a launch review system and a game review system. So people could just bash it and say the launch is terrible. Come back to this game in like 2 to 3 months once Amazon has sorted their shit out, and then there'd be the reviews for the actual game, which a lot of people are very much overwhelmingly satisfied with. So I wish we could separate things like that, but unfortunately we cannot. So we have to deal with the mixed bag that we have right now.
All right. Many people were saying that Amazon's communication could be better, and I just wanted to, in passing, just like a drive-by, agree with those people. I think that if you're new to Lost Ark under Amazon, I believe that we are sort of used to them not really being specific as to what is happening or what exactly they're doing or working on right now. But yeah, the communication could be better. I loved the way they responded to when we lost all of our characters, like everything was just blank. That was just genius, and I believe, I have a strong feeling that it was Rox behind that tweet. It was just gorgeous. So basically, if some of you don't know, at one point a few days ago there was a big maintenance, or with the free to play release, right, on Friday. There was like a long maintenance, and it was just dragging and dragging, and they couldn't get the servers online. And when finally the servers came online, there was no characters, and I think this affected NA as well. So actually, who am I explaining it for? I thought I'm just explaining it for NA people, but I saw Asmongold not seeing his character either. Um, so there was no characters, and there was a tweet saying that you're lucky we just deleted your characters. If you keep complaining or something, we're gonna remove the booba slider or the boobs or something. It was just
That's the meme
genius.
one. Yeah.
It was genius. So that I liked, but in general, their communication hasn't really been very soothing for the current situation. Because let's face it, what's worse in an MMO than losing your characters? It's the fact that you cannot play your characters, even if you do have them. So this is actually a big problem. It's not something that, hey, take it easy, I don't care about you. This is a huge problem. If you put yourself in the shoes of someone who is literally working from 6 in the morning, maybe to 6 in the afternoon, and wants to play some Lost Ark, I get it. Those people maybe shouldn't be allowed to play, right? We all want to be mean to everyone. But in reality, everyone should be allowed to have this lovely experience. And if you get home at 6 when you're tired, and you have like literally a 4.5 hour queue, then that's no fun. And people have purchased also founders packs, and it would just suck. Maybe you have to work because I don't know, you're taking care of your sick mom or something. There's all sorts of reasons. We cannot judge like that. We can advise people to, for peace, and to be patient, and we're sorry, but not treat it like it's not a huge problem. It is a huge problem. It's gigantic. It's the second biggest problem after actually losing your characters. So yeah. Anyone surprised of the fact that some people are already in tier 3?
Surprised is not really. People are gonna rush this game. If they know what they're doing, they know what they're doing. They're gonna do it quick.
One week.
I'm surprised that a lot of friends that I have, which I would not have expected to, people who are very much like just into PvP and never really PvE'd, or people who are kind of just like trying the game more or less for the first time and have only limited experience in Russia. I think, okay, these people may maybe get lost in the PvE side, or maybe they're not going to go too hard. And then lo and behold, they're already like 1060 item level, like going super, super hard, and like getting ready for raids and ready gearing up to like second characters, and just going absurd, and just like, oh my God, how did you do this? So I'm not so much surprised that people have done it, but I'm surprised that people who I did not expect would have done it have. That was my take.
Mm-hmm. Sadie, what do you think? I know you were a little bit behind because of the trip to US, so you're still catching up. But some people are 1 week already. 1325. I saw a person today. He was recruiting. He was lonely at the top, basically, and nobody
Wow.
was nobody was joining him for abyssal dungeons, and he was desperate to finish them this week also.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
yeah.
I wish that was me, but like I'm
Yeah.
lagging behind. I think I'm at 470 or so. Like I'm like super behind. And I mean, honestly, I don't really care what other people do. I'll just play the way I play, and I'll do the fastest that I can without actually losing, the enjoyment. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's really crazy that people are so fast already. But I guess it's the veterans. So.
I think so too, yeah. Thoughts on that, Wilky? Did you ever expect that in 1 week people would already be there?
I even said so in one of my didn't I say so in one of the podcasts actually we had, that I expect somebody to hit Punica in the first before the actual first reset. So which, like, with the actual first reset, I mean the upcoming Thursday, and seeing how many extra stuffs we had and everything, I'm not surprised. I'm actually surprised that people still did it, because I think at least for now, they will not really be able to reap the benefits as much. As you said, there's literally nobody else to play with, right? There's a benefit to rushing in a game, absolutely. But if you're literally the only person and you can't even do the endgame content because you're lacking 3 other people to bring with you, I think you're not really having any benefit. I mean, they still have 2 days left, so tomorrow there's definitely going to be a handful more. And I'm sure that there's going to be some parties that actually are able to do abyssal dungeons tomorrow. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it really doesn't matter. I got sidetracked way more than I wanted to originally.
Oh,
I wanted to push hard, like really hard on the gear, but then I did islands, I did some collectibles, and I'm like, you know what? This is the final server. I'm still good.
Yeah.
It's like I'm good with the curve and everything. I don't need to push any harder.
Yeah.
I'm there to help my friends, my guild, but I just want to do that island. And since I'm already on that island, I can just go to the island next to it. Oh, look, there's a Makoko seed. I never knew that there was a Makoko seed on this island too. And it's easy to lose 5, 10, 15 hours. So whoever says there's nothing else to do in Lost Ark, you just haven't played the game. Really. There's so much stuff to do right now. I don't even know when I'm going to be done with everything.
So the same here. I actually, even myself, I will have to admit, I paid to win my way into the crafting. Man, those juicy boxes that they have with extra energy of gathering. Holy shit! I buy them like every week, every day. They have something on offer with the gathering. I just go gather. I sidetracked so much. I have a horde of materials in my bag for tier 2. It's like literally tens of thousands I see there. But I'm just not even enchanting. I'm at 840, happy with the tier 2. But who cares, right? But I will have to enchant sooner or later and use those mats. But yeah, I tried even PvP on Artillerist, if you can imagine, which is something that I thought I would never do. Yeah, I mean,
Oh, really?
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like
You don't like it?
No, I don't like the class in PvP. I just cannot handle it. It's for big boys like Lino, I believe. For me, it's just you just press skills and hope someone steps into it. And my God, it's such a blessing with new players now because everyone steps into everything. Like big boom, big rocket, yay, let's take it. Landmine right there, huge landmine. They just stay in it. It's all good.
What's that
Perfectly
shiny
fine.
thing?
Yeah, this is my cup of tea right now, right? This is my cup, and I'm actually tempted to go to the other region in Europe just to do the PvP season there with all of the new players when that's gonna come ranked, and just post Lino a screenshot of me being Grandmaster in Europe West or whatever region.
Just bulldoze everyone.
Yeah. But speaking about PvP in another region, by the way, Lino. So like that other region is going to be full with new players. So if an experienced player goes there, he's gonna be Grandmaster, right, in the first rank season, because that's not cross region either.
Yeah, it's not cross region. It's most definitely going to be a very weak region when it comes to the level of PvP. That may be beneficial to a lot of players. So, you're not going to come and get stomped by some veterans that have already played the game for years, right? If you're coming on Europe Central, because the vast majority of veterans that have done PvP are European. Because, you can maybe do PvE at higher ping, but PvP is something where high ping is incredibly detrimental. So most people would not have been PvPing if they had high ping. There are, a few NA heroes that came to Russia and put in the work, but those are the minority. Most of the people that have been PvPing for a while are European. So the Central European region is by far going to be the most competitive one when it comes to PvP. And then they open up EUS, which is like, every single new player that isn't a vet and hasn't played PvP now gets to play there. Although, if I'm going to be real, a lot, if not most of the veterans are most likely going to have PvP ults there as well. To check out this new region, see how the skill level is. So don't think you're safe. You may be safe at the beginning, but you won't be safe forever. So we'll see how it goes for this new European region. The big concern is how do you run tournaments, right? Because we're already running tournaments is already really difficult with South America, NA East, NA West, and Europe, and now we have another European region, 5 regions to run tournaments on. How are we even gonna manage this?
Why don't you guys just throwing you an idea right there? Why don't you guys ask Amazon, since this is very possible for you to ask? The PvP scene is growing. You're getting a lot of outside traction. Amazon really loves that. Why don't you ask them, hey, can we use the PTS server for our tournaments? It's just one server. Everyone's there. higher ping, lower ping, I get it. It might suck, but what about just 2 different servers on the PTS for NA and for
I
EU?
wouldn't. No, like I mean the NAEU like is gonna have to be separate simply because the server is in a different location, so you're not gonna be able to like mix NA West and NA East. That like you can't mix South America and NA.
No.
Regions
Wait.
are gonna have to be separate like that. But like within Europe specifically, like we could designate, okay, every single PvP tournament is going to be happening on one region. We wouldn't even need a PTS, right? We could just say, okay, every single PvP tournament is going to be happening in EU Central. Make sure that you have characters in EU Central that you can play with. But it just feels a little bit like bad, right? You know, okay,
Right.
now everybody that isn't in EU Central now has to log in and register a character and level something there specifically for a tournament. It's like if you want to scrim and spar with other people, you kind of have to do that. You have to, you know, get out of your region, go to the EU Central region, and then scrim. It's complicated. Even if we had the PTS, I don't think it would do much help. It's just an unfortunate result of having split regions, which is why so many people are against it. But we don't have much choice at this point, really.
Mm-hmm. All right. What do you guys think? What do you guys think is the next step for Lost Ark for Amazon? I heard. I mean I didn't hear. I just saw you in YouTube recommended very many people, newer people to the game, and even bigger content creators talking about the pay to win. Now this is very hot. I also actually saw Stoops white knighting for Lost Ark on Twitter. It was fantastic. A great read, by the way.
He was roasted so much for that tweet. Holy Christ.
I see. Well, I just saw it. I read it. I was enjoying. You know, I was imagining myself like Stoops in a white knight kind of costume, maybe in a paladin skin, one of these founders packs things. And it was very sweet of him. Of course, he's a big fan of the game, and obviously so are we. But what do you think is the next big step now for Amazon Games? Like, what are they supposed to do right now? Just open up this second European region and then done? Everyone's happy with Lost Ark?
I mean, stability. Stability is the first thing. So number one priority is okay. I can't even say, okay, open a new European region. It's like, okay, open a new European region and make sure that it works properly, right? Make sure that everything's stable. Make sure that, you know, queues are being handled correctly. I guess it just fix any issues that people are having with, you know, different servers. There's the whole Galata issue as well of like people not being able to progress their characters. Like their main story quest just disappears. Like that's it. Your character's locked out forever. Have fun, make a new one. Goodbye. So I think they have to there are a lot of issues that have come off the back of this launch, and their priority is going to be to fix those. And I guess that gives people time to, you know, get up to T3. I don't think they're going to be breaking the update schedule as it is right now. They already have probably an update plan. It'd be nice if they release the roadmap so we know what's going to be coming. But I think right now, number one priority is, you know, make it so that those mixed reviews on Steam stop. And you're going to be able to achieve that by fixing queues, fixing server issues, fixing stability issues. We had a patch today on Europe to fix server stability issues, right? So I think that's their priority, and that's what they should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wilky or Sadie, any thoughts here? Anything that we can do to make this better, basically, or to make the game in general better? In NA, there's no problems at all. Like everything is Gucci. It's just like nothing. No bugs. No cash shop. No crystalline aura disappearing. Nothing.
I've heard of people complain on NA as well, actually. So yeah, I think first and foremost, the issues that are there that are kind of not really surprising for a new MMO launch. Even though the game is not new, obviously we're launching for the first time with Amazon in the West. I think, you know, having some issues is to be expected, really. But you know, fixing those, and then also going back to the whole tier 3 thing. I'm actually now so glad that we did get tier 3, even though people were so mad about it, because like we said, some people have already done all of that and they're already done with the whole content. So oftentimes with MMOs, right, people rush and then they don't have anything to do anymore, like Endgame or anything. And then they just leave the game, and then the game dies because they don't come back for new content anymore after. I mean, that happened with a Sword of Legend Online, for example. They didn't have any endgame content, and then once they did, no one was playing anymore. So I'm really glad about that. And I think we're getting Argos like in a month, right? I think, and then maybe a month after Valtan even. I'm not sure exactly, but I think that's great. I think they're already doing great on that front because I was actually worried that they would, be very stingy with content at first. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wilky, any thoughts on this one?
I mean, I agree to pretty much all of that. The only thing that I would really wish from Amazon to go forward is to, I mean, some of those maintenances are not scheduled or anything, but for example, what they did on launch day to cut down the servers during European prime time is something that I'm not entirely sure whoever vouched for this or whoever signed that document or that task is like, oh, it's like prime time in Europe. We're going to shut down the servers for an estimated 4 hours. That the estimate was 11 hours at the end. That's a totally different story, right? Because servers died in a fire and all that stuff. That's obviously not scheduled or not planned. But who the hell would plan a maintenance in Europeans prime time? Like, I know working times suck for people that have to hold a maintenance. And in my job, I also have to hold a mid-maintenance, which means sometimes on Sundays, Saturdays, during like midnight hours, I have to work because that's the lowest amount of people that you actually hassle with. But like, it's the launch day. It's the first actual day where everybody gets to play or should be able to play Lost Argos. We should word it that way because it's going free to play, and Amazon plans to shut down the server 4 hours during prime time. So I really hope that going forward, they will have at least like EU staff or just adjust the times so that it would be more EU friendly. Not because we're the biggest region. I would also ask for this if we were not the biggest region. But generally speaking, just hold maintenances and resets and everything at an hour or at a time that would make the most sense for each specific region, right? Americans wouldn't be happy if we were to shut down the servers 6 or 8 hours later, right? If they were to shut down servers at EU evening, night times, it would screw everybody in NA, and they would scream about that as well. So I think that's really something they could fix. Other than that, really just make sure the game is running, because when you're logged in, for the most part, the game is running, aside from the cross-server issues. I think that should be their priority. And content is, right now, we have so much content to boot that whoever says he's bored or she's bored with the game clearly either hasn't played anything or is stuck in like Moria ruins at like level 22 and like, what the hell is this game or something? But right now, there's no chance anybody's running out of content. So Amazon has some time on their hands to fix the issues, iron out the things, and hopefully go into a very steady and very growing game in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I concur, as a pirate would do, with these lovely people. I also wanted to add on top of that I don't think that Amazon, actually, quite frankly, I don't think that anyone was expecting to have over 1 million players in Lost Ark in general. I don't think anyone was expecting to have 1.3 million also. And as we can clearly see, there's just a little bit more maybe players in the EU than there is in NA, because as we discussed, NA currently has 2 different regions which total up a larger number of servers than we have on EU. But with the new region of EU being added and with all the people in the queue, then obviously it would sort of balance itself out, or maybe EU would have more players here. So I don't think Amazon was even expecting that EU would boom so much. Plus, I don't think they're prepared. I don't know if Amazon has, I mean, it's Amazon, of course they do it. They have Amazon Germany, they have Amazon UK, they have all sorts of Amazons in terms of the shop. So I'm pretty sure they have connections, but I don't think they were ready with the infrastructure. I think if this would have happened to NA, they would be, let's say, much faster at fixing it compared to now doing it overseas and maybe taking a little bit more time. I would also like for them to, let's say, improve a little bit on their I don't know, I don't know, just to tell us a little bit more on what exactly is happening and to keep us a little bit more in the loop. I think this is right now the least they can do, because solving technical issues is going to take as long as solving technical issues is going to take. But, at least in New World apparently had 900,000. Am I correct in saying that, everyone who's watching? 900,000 at peak, maybe 960. But I don't think New World broke 1 million.
No,
ever. Yeah. And that was massive. Now Lost Ark is 1.1 million steady. It was also 1.3 million at peak. So we're gonna soon take some of your questions, by the way, guys. So if you have any questions in the chat, feel free, and I'm gonna bookmark them here and answer them as we go, right, with the podcast.
I mean, I just want to add this. I think, just imagine that all those 1.3 million people would actually be able to play. I think the actual number of players would be even higher. But I think that's literally what's limiting the game right now. I could see the game having 1.5 million, maybe even more people if all of them were able to play, which
Yeah.
unfortunately is not the case. So I think the numbers could be even higher.
Who would have imagined Lost Ark with over 1 million players? I actually honestly thought there's going to be maximum 500,000 at release. We had 86,000 at peak in the closed beta. Granted, it was a closed beta, nobody cared about it. It was leaked also 6 times. It was delayed also 6 months. It was just a mess. But I never thought we'd get past 500,000. I never thought so many people would enjoy Lost Ark. Some people were asking when is the second Founders Pack. Anyone wanna clear that out?
They have not given any information there. They said anybody who has purchased a Founders Pack or claimed they Founders Pack or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the wording was, but before it was 14th of February, so technically that had been yesterday, but we still haven't received or gotten any word of when they're going to be delivering that. If I'm going to be honest, I don't think they're going to be doing that until they release a new region, because if I recall correctly, you receive the Founders Pack on the region that you sign in onto. So if people want to get that second Founders Pack, they will probably want to be signing into the new region first and then creating a character there once it's live. So I don't think we're going to be getting that until that new EU region is up, but that's a speculation by me at this point. They have not given anything official.
Apparently, we're getting recent reports that the Mokoko server has crashed, which is always tragic when something Mokoko related is actually crashing. So this is a big deal in the world of Lost Ark, the fact that Mokoko has crashed. In terms of new content, I wanted also to discuss this with you guys. Apparently, the game director said that 1 month into release, so starting with the 8th of March, sometime after that, we're actually going to get Argos. Argos being the first Abyss raid, right? This is an 8-man stuff. This is a bit more complicated than Abyss Dungeons for those of you who are new. This is item level 1370, if I'm not mistaken. The first phase, at least. Do you think that if they deploy the Argos update and let us have Argos at 1370 on the 8th of March, which is in 3 weeks exactly from today, actually, 3 weeks from today. Do you think it's a good idea? What do you think, Wilky?
I think all things considered, with how accelerated the raids are, they're not really accelerated, but the welcome challenge, the little thingy in the top right corner, that definitely boosts everybody's progress, especially in tier 2. Like, those challenges, if you do them, they will madly help you get through that much quicker than you normally would be. I don't think how many people I would wage to say, like, maybe 20% at max, probably more like 10% of the people are going to be ready for phase 1. However, there's something that I recently learned. They added in a new item level gear specifically for our region, apparently. I don't know if you noticed that. Normally, if you go to any new region, for those of you who are new to the game or basically played, it starts at 302, then we go to 802, and then we switch to 1302, which is the tier 3 gear. And the next gear would be the gear that we get from Argos, which starts at 1340. But now they added in a, I guess, second Abyssal Dungeon set, which already starts at a higher item level. So they're already giving us those options to push our item level higher, even though we don't even have the content that we would need the item level for. So I think it's they planned this out. They set up these little stepstones here, and I'm fairly certain that once they see that only like a fraction of the player base is actually there, they will shoot out events or just make the path easier for people to actually get there. So I think it's a good idea because it just keeps the steady flow of content there. People that are faster can still do all the collectibles, all the islands. People that are taking a more chill approach usually do
Yeah.
stuff like islands stuff anyway, right? Those people that are playing at their own pace, they like doing islands. They like exploring. There's a lot, like the islands in the game are probably one of the most underrated feature in its entirety, with how many different shapes they are. Of course, some quests get repetitive, the picking up stuff here, putting it down there. The classic MMORPG quests, yeah, they're not really the most enjoyable thing, but I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a lot of fourth wall breaks that they actually programmed into islands. I would highly encourage everybody to do those and experience them for yourself.
Sadie, some people were saying in the chat that abyssal dungeons are already too complicated for new players, and I actually experienced that firsthand myself. Do you think new players will have problems with Argos, or how do you see this going? Let's assume that new players also catch up, right? It's pretty fast. Once they get the hang of doing the islands after tier 1, in tier 2 they're going to already be a little bit faster because they're going to know. They get to Argos next month, in 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
What do you
So
think is going to happen?
I think Argos is definitely the first kind of content. That's how I experienced it, where it was a little bit more elevated. Like the difficulty was a little bit, a little bit more than everything else we've done until then. But I feel like it's a good choice to have that there for people who want to go hardcore, that they can do it, and then maybe later on for the casuals, they can increase the the item gear, help in any way. I don't know, like do a buff or something for the raid, and then have them also like trail after. It's something they kind of did in Final Fantasy 14, for example. That at first only the really good teams they clear the stuff, and then they feel really accomplished, and then the casuals just sort of trickle in after. And I think that's good. I mean, regardless of if I'm going to be ready for Argos or not, I'm always for more content, no matter what.
All right. Do you I forgot what I wanted to ask actually. It was quite do you think that there is any chance of Amazon Games or Smilegate maybe changing their minds while they are looking at what exact content people are doing, what item levels they are at, where's the majority at right now, or what things does the community in general ask? Do you think this can be a change of decision later down the road? Maybe not have Argos next month, maybe wait a little bit longer? Or do you think that what the game director is actually set in stone? They want Argos next month, Valtan in April.
Right. I think honestly, I think Gold River and Smilegate have like a very firm grip on things. Nothing just flies, so they just every time there was something, an issue or anything they didn't like, they were very vocal about it and they immediately intervened. So I think if Gold River said he wants to do Argos, then he's gonna do Argos probably. Although then again, Smilegate does respond to the community as well. They listen, which is the thing that's great about them. So I don't know really.
What do you think, Lino? Is there any chance of them changing their minds based on what the community is doing at the moment?
I think there's a very big distinction between what the community is doing and what the community is asking. If lots of people overwhelmingly ask, please don't do this, and it becomes, a very significant point where it's like, you must not do this, otherwise things will be terrible, then maybe they'll listen. But if it's just based on what the community is doing, it's going to be very disingenuous if suddenly they're like, oh, we promised this. Too bad. We're not going to do it now because statistics have showed us that this was not such a good idea. So we're going to change everything now, even though we told you otherwise. I mean, already having complicated issues of Amazon where the things that they tell us is not really true. Hey, found a not tradable. Sorry, they are. Oh, by the way, this is not happening. Oh, never mind. It actually is. So I think they really don't want to be going back on any words that they have given, especially when given by the director himself. So they are going to commit to this. And I think that's like guaranteed unless something incredibly catastrophic happens.
All right. Okay. What about all of the server problems that we had in EU? Keeping people from playing, because their original plan was assuming everyone's playing, but since many people are actually sitting in a queue and not playing, maybe this is a big enough reason. This is actually something catastrophic. That's just people are not playing.
Like they're not going to change the dates of something happening because of that. They may, however, add in more boosting systems or more support systems to help these players catch up. I think that's how they would go about it without breaking a promise.
What do you think, Wilky, about those leaked enchantment rates that they posted by mistake? A new employee posted by mistake those enchantment rates for tier 1 and 2, and tier 3, quite frankly, where the gear enchanting, the gear honing to be precise, didn't take almost any mats, and it was also sped up by a lot, 4 levels per, or 2 levels per enchant, etc. When do you think that's coming? Because we obviously know it was a leak and it's coming, but do you think that's prior to Valtan, or do you think that's prior to Argos? Or I don't think.
I don't think it's gonna be prior to Argos. Or well, maybe. Here's the thing. I mean, we have those systems in Russia, so we know what it feels like and what the purpose is of that, right? I can see that with the Argos release, maybe they implement those changes into tier 1 to help people get out of tier 1 faster into tier 2. And at the same time, at least in Russia, those catch-up mechanics were very closely tied to the boosts that you were able to buy. As in, if you were able to boost the character into, let's say, Yorn, which is the entry level of tier 2, that would mean that the catch-up mechanics would also get you faster to that point. So let's say if they add in a boost that allows us to, or I'll call it power pass so people know what I'm talking about. Let's just say that there's going to be a power pass that is released with the Argos release, and that's going to shoot you to item level 600 or 802. That also probably means that there's going to be easier enchanting all the way until that item level to kind of go hand in hand to give people both like a paid option if you don't want to or can't play for whatever reason, and also for the people that just like playing or don't want to spend money on it, is like, sure, you have to play, but at least the upgrading is going to be easier. You need less shards. You have a variety of other things.
This is, I just wanted to interrupt you for a moment to explain to people who have not seen this. This is, ignore me there on the bottom right. This is from their official website, right, from playlostark.com, and this is what we're talking about right now. These success rates right here, they posted this and then took them back because they said it's a mistake. So we have 100% success rates until 15 for tier 2 as well. Then we have 2 levels increase as opposed to 1 level every time you succeed, and then we have a full cost reduction in tier 2 honing leap stones. So this is exactly what we're talking about. Yeah, no, go on, Wilky, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's basically what this entails for, and this system is there to help new players or also old players to get either more characters going, or just basically if you're new to the game, you're going to be advancing at an accelerated rate, which typically is done in order to push people faster into, let's say, relevant content, right? I wouldn't say Yorn is going to be relevant if we're doing Argos and Baltan, but it's at least more relevant than doing stuff in Vern or Sushire or Rendell. We will get those. I think we might see the first iteration of that hitting with Argos, as in they might do the whole tier 1 upgrading process. They might make it easier. I don't see they would do it like more than that, because that would invalidate almost everybody's hard work. All the people that are currently pushing as hard as they can to reach tier 3. Imagine that in 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now, everybody could do it in a matter of 2 to 3 days. What these people have been grinding day and night, spending money on the cash shop, running maps, asking people to help them, using the black market, buying crystals, all that stuff.
Maybe they should have listened to Golden River and take it easy.
Maybe. I don't think they will. They want to do that, but they will definitely implement that. I think the first iteration is actually going to hit us in 3 to 4 weeks, and subsequent boosts will just be then released whenever new content has arrived. I think when Valtan is released, I can see both tier 1 and tier 2 enchanting rates being increased, because once the first Legion raid commander is out, everything before tier 3 becomes, well, irrelevant, so to speak. So
except the gold farming, of course, in the either Argos or the Abyssal Dungeon, because that's
no. I mean, yeah, but the Abyssal Dungeons are granting 100 gold compared to 4.5, well, like 4,500 gold that you could get in Legion raid. So what I mean by invalid or like irrelevant, it's people will still do it, but the idea is to get people to do those Legion Commander raids as soon as possible.
But do you
which
think?
mean,
Sorry, I wanted to ask you
Yeah.
something about this. What you were saying. Do you think that? Okay, we don't get it. We don't get it in the next 3 weeks. These boosts and enchanting and stuff because it invalidates, like you said. But do you think that if we get it in a month and 3 weeks, does it make it that much better? The game is like still Jesus is like 2 months old. It's
Yeah,
really fresh.
it does make it a lot better, I think. Yes. As weird as that may sound, because like the absolute time period that has passed is just 6 weeks or 8 weeks compared to 4 weeks. But the progress inside of the game in terms of like gear and people were actually able to use and garnish and the harness the reaps the rewards of their grinding, if you will. That I think in 6 or 8 weeks it wouldn't be as, like, how would I say that? I think if you were to invalidate everybody's progress in 4 weeks, it's quite crazy. But in 8 weeks of time, people wouldn't really mind because they're already so far ahead of it anyway that they forgot what they did 4 weeks ago.
Okay. All right. Makes sense. And someone was asking, actually, just to get a couple of questions here. Someone was asking, when are classes like the Lance Master going to come out? That obviously we don't know, and nobody here on this panel knows. Who knows? Maybe Sadie knows. I'm not going to ask her though. Of course, we're not going to put Sadie in an awkward spot now. She's going to tell us after the show. Wing wing. Okay, so nobody knows when these classes are going to come out. And speaking about new classes and stuff that's going to come out, when do you think we should expect a roadmap from Amazon Games? Do you think right now they're too busy with fixing EU and that's the reason, or people want to know when is the next class coming out?
I mean, to be fair, I think having somebody work on a roadmap doesn't occupy, or hopefully doesn't occupy, the same people that are working on the technical parts of it. So I think this should be, for a company of Amazon size, they should be able to do those two things alongside. I do think, however, that as of now, there are more important issues. So for the communications team, I think they should just be more open about what the new transfers, or if there are transfers, what the new region is all about. But I think after a week or two, they should definitely at least teaser a roadmap for us, because there are a lot of people that are kind of playing this game on hold. It's like, I want to play a Summoner, I want to play a Lance Master, I want to play Arcana, I want to play maybe all the new classes, or all the quote-unquote new classes, because Summoner really isn't new. But maybe they want to play those classes, and they're just like derping around with the game. Some might not even play the game at all, because there's like, oh, I wanted to play the big guy with a hammer, but I don't even know when he's going to come to the game.
Yeah.
So I really hope that they're like, within the next 14 days, I would really like to see a roadmap, ideally with a schedule, even if it's only saying like in March we're going to get class X, in April we're going to get class Y. It doesn't have to be a specific date, but at least tell the people, look, it's going to be something 4 to 8 weeks, you're going to get a new class, so that they can actually like plan it as like, oh, they're going to build the hype, they're going to get happy about it. I mean, I'm a sad Lance Master main that can't play the main class, because I don't even know when the hell it's going to be released, but I surely won't wait until they announce it, because it might as well be 6 months down the line.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to wait 6 months until they release a class that I want to play, because there's going to be future classes as well. Everybody's going to play Female Berserker, let's be real here. And we don't know when the hell that class is going to be released. So we're just not going to wait until it happens, though. We're just going to play the game anyway.
Mm-hmm. Another question that I have, are there any potions to recover energy of work? Yes, there are. I'm paid to winning them. Once per week you can buy them, by the way. And there is such a thing. Another question for Sadie, or Sadie. Sadie. Yeah, Sadie. I call her Sadie because this is more
Sadie.
European. Yeah, I'm a European guy. What server does she play on?
Kadan, obviously.
She's a
Only the best people on the server.
she's a Chadet. Represent, Kadan represent. Another question is, do you feel like people are going through vertical content too fast? I think we sort of answered this one, right? I'm item level 500, while I see so many streamers and people speeding into tier 2. I feel like I'm missing out. What do you think about this, Lino?
I mean,
He feels like he's missing out, or she.
Like, if you're missing out, depends. Like, do you feel like you're missing out because everybody else is going so much faster, or you feel that you're missing out because you feel the pressure to go that fast, and therefore you're now missing out on content, right? I think it's the advice that Golder had given previously, right? It's okay to take your time. If people that want to rush content, they do that because, well, they may be veterans, or they're people who may have already experienced this content before, so they're not really missing out on anything because, well, they've already done it. A lot of the people who may be new and haven't experienced things before, well, maybe they're missing out on stuff because they're progressing too fast, but that's a conscious decision that they make, and that's the decision that you have to make for yourself as well, right? It's what do you want to do with your time in this game? At the end of the day, we're going to be getting further raids. It's not going to end with Argos. We're going to be getting Valton, then, Viacus or whatever. And then, all the different Legion raids are going to start to come out. And what seems like a person speed running content now in a few months' time is going to be almost like the starting point where a lot of people are going to be. It's just, do you want to do all this content now, or do you want to take in other areas of the game, right? If you're getting stressed out because you feel like you have to speed up, then you're not doing it right. If you feel fulfillment and reward from playing things at that better pace, then do it. And it's just like a personal decision that you have to make, honestly.
All right.
I would like to add one thing, which something a lot of people forget is that for a lot of content creators, not all of them, but a lot of content creators typically try to play the best or latest things because that's what usually, or what some people at least believe, drives better views or better clicks depending on what kind of content you're doing. So for a lot of those content creators, it's in their interest, or at least they believe so, to push as hard as they can. To showcase what other people might not be able to showcase, or what they think would be better for the viewers, right? Just imagine, what would you rather watch? Would you rather watch a random person being in Vern, who's just like doing the storyline there, hunting a few mobs? Or would you rather watch somebody who's in Punica and actually doing the current latest abyssal dungeon that you can currently run? And I think this is what some people always seem to be confusing, that this rushing is not obviously exclusive to content creators. I'm doing it myself, but I'm doing it because I played the game God knows how many years. Cybo did it. But even we got sidetracked. We didn't actually push as hard as we could. Even we took our time, enjoyed the game. So I think the whole rushing thing might seem a bit off, but I think it's most content creators just doing it to provide valuable or interesting content to the viewers. And they're not necessarily looking at their own fun as a primary factor. Whereas you as a player, just like Lin said, your primary goal here should be enjoy the game. If that's playing the game slow, that's fine. If it's rushing through the game and trying to be at the top or something, that's fine as well.
Mm-hmm. A question that Lino can actually answer. Where is it? This one. How do you feel about the hidden MMR matchmaking in the current PvP system, since ranked is not out yet?
Yes, that I feel terribly about it because it doesn't exist. So this is the little bit of a weird situation that we have right now. PvP is bugged. Just as we're talking about, all the different things that Amazon can do. I think maybe fixing the PvP matchmaking system would be another. So the way that usually works is, even in unranked, there is a hidden MMR, and there is matchmaking that does go on. It's very similar to ranked. You can tell if you're the higher ranked player within your team, depending on how low you are on the party list when you press tab. So it is something that's measurable. It is something that exists in other servers. However, you may have realized that if you try and change your character to another one, your wins are just going to get wiped out completely. It's almost as if you had never played PvP at all, according to the board, right? Your wins, your losses, your win percentage, it all vanishes. And with that, so does your hidden MMR. So right now, as soon as you log out or change characters, you're going to be at the base level that all the G20s are at, all the grade 20s are at. So PvP experience right now is probably not the best, because you can be, a veteran player that has a 100% win rate over the course of 30 matches. You're going to be placed with some other competitive individuals, and then you just change characters, or you log out and then log in the next day, and now you're back to G20 kind of level of hidden MMR. So that is unfortunately a bug that we seem to have at the moment, and I hope they fix that in due time, at least shortly after the server issues, but we'll see. PvP right now is a little bit of a mess, and you will not be fighting people of your skill level as it is because of the broken matchmaking.
Mm-hmm. Sadie, you were talking about playing two characters in Rohendel, both of them. Is that true, or did I misunderstand?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Well, an
basically,
alt and my main. Basically.
an alt and your main. So basically, you have two characters of item level 460 or higher.
Yeah.
Is that something you do? Okay, because there's a question here. How should we gear our alts? And I just wanted to get your take on why would you do that the way you're doing it, and then we can have Wilky's take also on another way of doing this, because this is interesting. I've not yet seen a person who plays simultaneously, like in tier 1 both, and then to progress further.
Honestly, I don't know. Like, I'm not very min-maxy. I don't pay a lot of attention to that kind of stuff. So for me, it's not about the maximum outcome. I just wanted to play my artillerist and my sorceress, so I've just been doing that.
Right. So for you, it's basically I just want to enjoy two different types of classes on a daily basis for the content
for the
of that.
weeklies and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Just for the love of those two different classes. Right. So this is an interesting way of doing things. By the way, this is a way that gets 2 thumbs up from me, because it's nice that just because you want to play 2 different classes in Lost Ark, you're actually literally going to play 2 different classes at the same time in the same day, doing your same content with from chaos dungeons to dailies to raids on 2 different classes, and also grow with them as characters. By the way, what are you doing with the island rewards that you get? Do you have you split, like specific islands goes to sorcerer, specific to artillerist, or?
Yeah, kind of like that. Actually, I spent the whole night doing island stuff last night, and I kind of opened some stuff that was bound on my sorceress, and then now I'm kind of behind on my artillerist, which is my main. So yeah, it's a huge mess right now. Honestly, I'm just scrambling, trying to catch up while at the same time trying to enjoy
Okay.
both of these classes.
That's a very interesting way. That's a very nice way of actually doing things. I never heard that. This to me never even occurred as a possibility. Wilky, what do you think about this? How should people gear alts on top of what Sadie said, or a different way compared to that, which is just lovely? I haven't heard that in my life, and I find it as a very relaxing thought to do that like that.
I mean,
Very
I
cool.
have a couple people that actually play the same way. They just push their first character, and when I told them that you don't have to level a second character, it's like, oh, how did I do this? And immediately, as soon as they got their first power pass, they just boosted another character and played around with that. This ties into the
Right.
do whatever you enjoy in the game. If you just want to try out a different class immediately, once your first character, your main, is at item level 340, go do it. Like, why would you not do something that you really want to do? Where I'm not saying you wouldn't enjoy playing your main further, but if you want to try a different class, go do it. And as far as alts go, I basically did the same. As soon as I got my power pass, I had a plan in terms of classes I wanted to play, right? So I knew I get my power pass, I'll boost my artillerist, and then I'll boost my paladin. And I got them to do the story dungeons and everything with the power pass, so everything was done. And then I did chaos dungeons, Una dailies. I set up my daily farm routes, and I played them pretty much from day 2 as well. Obviously not to the same extent, but I did dailies, I did weeklies on my alts pretty much from day 2 on. So I didn't really play them less than my main in that regard. Obviously, my main did all the story dungeons, all the islands and stuff like that. But as far as like the recurring daily and weekly content goes, I pretty much play those 3 characters. I wouldn't even say the only difference between my main and my alt characters is the item level. The rest is pretty much the same for me.
Right. Have you guys created the different? I mean, I know Sadie has artillerist and sorcerer. She just said, but what about you, Wilkie? Do you have 2 different classes or the same class?
Yeah, I have my main is a Deadeye right now, or Devil Hunter for those who played in other regions. I have an artillerist or blaster as my second DPS alt, and a paladin or holy knight as my third character. I'm currently on the fence of getting a 4th character with a knowledge boost, but I said this earlier. I can barely even finish story dungeons and all the stuff that we currently have to do, that I don't really feel like I can use a 4th character effectively at the moment. So I'm kind of really happy to just play those 3 characters, do the dailies, do the weeklies. I'm in the process of doing Rohendel on my 3rd character. I'm not really looking forward to do 8 times of the same story, if I'm going to be honest, but it's got to be done at some point.
Well, do the knowledge boost then. 1k gold. Go for it.
Yeah, but that's a lot of gold for like a save of like what one or 2 hours of story dungeon. I don't think right now. I think the gold is too valuable to do it. I'd rather sink it into different things. But yeah, that would be an option, I guess.
What about you, Lino? Do you have also several characters at 50? Do you even have any character at 50, or did you stop at 26?
I do have characters at 50, yeah. So I got Sorceress, I got Scrapper, and I got Shadowhunter. These are the characters that I boosted to 50. You know, I'm getting some characters now up to 26. So getting all like my core PvP characters, getting an Artillerist and a Berserker to 26 as well, so I can PvP with them. When it comes to PvE, I have like a class identity crisis right now. I thought that I wanted to be a Sorceress main, but then like Appa with Taijutsu engraving is just too fun. So now I don't know. Maybe do I just swap my mains right now? Do I just stop investing into my Sorcerer and go to Scrapper? I don't know. I'm like literally, you know, this is the kind of research that I should have done way before I started the game. I was like, okay, I feel like I have set onto my main right now, but now I'm having second thoughts. I am not loyal to my Sorcerers right now. So I'll see what it is that I do. I'll sleep on it and maybe come to a decision tomorrow.
Okay, so see, guys, even after years of playing Lost Ark, they're the same questions. Yeah, what class do I main? Should I main this? Should I main that? And this happens to, literally, this happens to almost everyone that I know. There's always another, this feeling that maybe I should play that other class, and it's not a bad feeling. It's actually a good feeling. It's like, you know, hey, I want a change of playstyle. Wow, you know, what's cool now? Or maybe what does my team need? Or maybe what do I feel like playing now? The Deathblade and then Berserker and then. So it happens all the time. I saw some other questions in chat also, such as how do you get engravings for your alt? So engravings are shared across all of your characters. That way you can use from the other class to, or I mean, what you unlock with the one character, you can use it on the other character. If you play 2 different classes, how do you handle class engravings if you play 2 different classes, Wilky? Because obviously they're shared, but you cannot use them, so you need to get more of them. You just wait,
Right.
you just take it easy, you just farm and.
I mean, the mid-maxi or the best solution would be play different classes that don't overly rely on class engravings. But in terms of like the engraving books, which is like what most people are actually asking about with that question, you have a limited amount of stuff that you get from the islands, but there are other various sources. For example, the Infinite Chaos Dungeons that you can run for 20 green, 20 blue, and probably 20 purple books later on. Remember though that this is account wide, so roster wide we can do this once. So you can get a second pair of 20 green and blue engraving books for a second class running the Infinite Chaos Dungeons. Also the Welcome Challenge that I talked about earlier, there's also quite a few books in there. Outside of this, you're not, like, this is something that people have to kind of get or understand. The way we're progressing through the game is not the original way how it was designed. We're speeding through the game. Even if you're not rushing actively, you're getting handed a lot of stuff. So you're not actually supposed to have 10 class engravings unlocked at the start or in 2 or 3 weeks. So what you normally would have to do is farm those dungeons and either pray for one of the drops to happen or other people to sell you the drops on the marketplace. So I think people are a little bit spoiled in that regard, that they get a lot of these engraving books basically for free just by questing and doing these challenges. Just remember that this is actually not how it was originally designed. So it's normal to feel like, I got these ones basically just, I didn't even farm those and I just got them in my inventory at some point. Now what am I going to do? So like I said, Chaos Dungeons Infinite are one thing. And if you're like having 3, 4, 5 classes that you want class engravings for, well, the auction house is the only real way, I think.
Okay. More questions, more lovely questions from the chat. By the way, thank you so much to those of you who are watching for the questions and also for just watching. Very appreciated. Someone was asking top 5 NPCs to max out your rapport with first. Anyone wants to take this?
They probably mean in terms of like min-maxing the items, probably, right?
No,
But I would say
the affinity, or maybe min maxing the items in them. I don't know.
in
Yeah,
the
I guess.
infinity thing, yeah, probably. But honestly, just go with Sasha because she has a mole on her. You know, so
Uh huh.
yeah, go with Sasha. Go with.
Do we still have the sex scene, or was it actually removed?
I don't think anybody capped affinity yet, right? Or did somebody? I don't know.
I mean, you could theoretically, I guess, if you.
Do we do? I don't know if we have enough items yet, but I'm sure we
Yes.
still have the cutscene.
I see. Okay. Well, there's always the you can always pay to win to get the sex scene with Sasha. Yeah.
I did that on Russia.
There we go. Yeah, me too. Any tips for the striker class? Everyone says it's weak. I can answer this one really fast. It's stronger than some other classes, so that's the pro tip right here. Is it true that we're gonna get an Iron Man class? Everyone is nodding, so that answers this particular question. What should we do
So
with
nice.
gold? Yeah, what should we do with gold? I have 4K, but don't know what to spend it on. I'm gonna let you guys take this one.
Use it
Oh,
for the
this
knowledge
is
boost, right?
yeah. Go ahead, Sadie.
No, yeah. I just wanted to say probably the knowledge boost. I think
That's
at
one
first
option.
now, or gear, but
What do you think, Wilkie?
Oh yeah, I think you basically have three options there: progress your character, progress your account, or invest into the future, if you will. By progressing your characters, like Sadie said, either buy materials or push upgrades as you can. Progress your account is use knowledge transfer to boost more characters or skip storylines if you don't want to. Or I would personally always consider investing into some blue crystals. Everybody should know what blue crystals are for, how to use them effectively, and also learn about the items that Saibo talked about, like the weekly stuff that you can buy, or Marie's secret shop. Because there are a lot of good deals in Marie's secret shop that a lot of people seem to neglect because they think it's some kind of evil pay to win cash shop mechanic, when in reality it's an actual legit in-game function. It's just unfortunately tied into the cash shop for whatever reason. So it seems to have a little bit of a stigma going on there. The Marie's shop is actually there for everybody to use, whether you're a free-to-play player or not. So I highly encourage everybody to check it out once it's working again. I think right now the shop is down, at least in Europe. But once the shop is working again, try to educate yourself a little bit about Marie's shop and check the prices, understand what it's for, what the purpose is, and then invest into blue crystals. They're most likely never going to be as cheap as they are now. And if you really don't have any better thing to spend your gold on, then buy blue crystals.
I would also like to quickly answer this question before I pass it on to Lino. I'm just really curious what a PvP player spends gold on. This should be like the easiest I don't care answer in the world. However, I just also want to answer this question. What I did with my gold, for example, I spent it on buying these blue crystals. Now, buying these blue crystals implies that you already want to pay to win, right? But at least I'm buying them with in-game gold, right? I'm buying the crystals now because, like everyone said, they're very cheap and they're absolutely worth buying. However, if you yourself are the type of player who despises spending blue crystals on anything else and finds it pointless because you just want to take your time through everything, then that's absolutely perfectly fine. Do not buy blue crystals regardless of their great value at the moment. You can buy other stuff like boxes with skins, right, and sell them for even more gold later on. This is also a great investment. Yeah, Lino, if you're just a PvP player, you got to 50 by mistake. You boosted up another two. Yeah,
That's true.
you boosted up another
true.
two classes because it was free, right? Just to try them in PvP. But if you're just a PvP player, what do you do with your gold? Do you even care?
I do. It's actually incredibly important, possibly the most important decision of all, which is you have to buy costumes. Why aren't you buying costumes? Like, buy costumes from the store. There's like founders pack outfits. If you don't have, multiple colors, or you want to try a different class, just get the lawmaker weapons for them. Like, have you seen the blade lawmaker weapons? They look amazing. You think I'm gonna pass up on that? So, like, if you're winning in PvP but you're not winning in style, are you really winning?
Yeah.
You're obviously not winning. So, like, as a PvPer, I have to make sure that I am looking good when I'm playing good. And so gold is incredibly important to me, as I have to fund my fashion addiction somehow. So that's where all my gold is going to go.
And that's why you pay real money for Lino's coaching. for this kind of advice, which is priceless. But in reality, who's gonna take you in their esports team if you actually are not skinned up, right? Another question is, what classes are we excited the most? What future classes are we excited the most?
To me, that one's very easy, which is Arcana. I very much want to play Arcana. I still remember me being incredibly sad and frustrated when I played Arcana for like almost a year, and then Amazon announces like, by the way, she's not going to be on the starting lineup. Tough luck. And then I have abandoned Arcana ever since that announcement. But a part of me just pulls me back. And her PvE is like, that's one of the few classes in PvE that I really, really enjoy. Like, I'm having trouble deciding my main. Am I going to play Sorceress? Like, am I going to play Taijutsu Scrapper? Like, well, if Arcana was here, I wouldn't have to make that decision. So Arcana is the way for me.
There we go. Sadie?
It has to be a tie between Scouter and Destroyer, probably. But I'm excited for all
Ooh.
of them. I want to try Lancer as well.
I see you as a destroyer player. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's really badass.
I like it
All right.
rough.
All right. Yeah, that's nice. I see that. I can see that. What about you, Wilky? I see you as a male summoner.
I'd be down to play that. I mean, I wanted to play Summoner before Amazon decided to not bring it to the West at the launch roster. No, since I'm a Lance Master, or I used to be a Lance Master main on the Russian servers, I really want to play her again, despite whatever rework they have planned or not planned for her. But yeah, I would be willing to play male Summoner. Wouldn't have a problem, or male Arcana for that matter. Imagine being Gambit and throwing cards at other people. How cool would that be? So.
Okay, what about an actual real class that you're excited for? Or actually, Wilky, guys, he's sold on the whole Devil Hunter underrated kind of thing. I believe so. Or are you expecting something from a future class that's actually going to replace the Devil Hunter for you?
Well, if Lance Master is going to be at least somewhat similar to what it used to be, there's a pretty good chance I will actually switch mains whenever she's released, which hopefully is going to be in this year. But this is what I said earlier. If it's going to take like half a year until we get the hands on a new class, I don't even know if I feel energetic enough to do a main switch at that point. So
what about with the updated enchantment rates? I think that's pretty.
Getting characters to a certain plateau in Russia was fairly easy. Like in Russia, the sweet spot was basically all the way until 14, 15. It took you, I don't know, like 20,000 gold, which was a fraction of what I earned later on. So I could boost probably 2-3 characters in a week if I really wanted to. The problem starts then when you get into the territory to be closer or replacing your actual main. That's going to take like weeks or even months of preparation, saving up eventual or optional swiping if you want to smoothen out the progress. Or if you really banked in hard and got like a weapon to plus 25 or plus 20, whatever cap we have, I don't think switching mains is a possibility unless you really bring out the credit card, which I don't intend to do.
All right. I personally am waiting for Summoner just to answer this question myself as well, simply because I can finally have my main class to play. Someone was asking, would Steam Deck be viable for Lost Ark? A controller meta? I've seen conflicting informations here, conflicting opinions at that. Some people say it's great, some people say it really sucks, like really just highs and
I know a couple people that play with controller, and I can tell you that I tried it myself with not a Steam Deck, so just a regular off-brand controller, and it works. I wouldn't say it's ideal, but for PvE it works for the most part. For PvP though, I think you're hamstringing yourself too much to actually like it's essentially you're being the meme. If somebody says or asking you if you're playing with a steering wheel, that's probably what you're going to be like if you play PvP with a controller. So I would definitely advise against that in PvP. In PvE, if you're more of a chill person or you like want to play on a couch or something, or like gaming on your television or something in your living room, playing with a controller is fine. I think even SedyTo did it on stream for quite a while, so there's plenty evidence that people manage to do it, even if they're not fully used to playing with controllers. So it's definitely an option that works.
Yeah, but there's only one Saint Own in this world, so I don't think it works for anyone else. When does the ranked get released, Lino?
So we don't have any official word from Amazon as to when ranked will be released, but on average, at least for the other regions, it's been like what 4 to 6 weeks roughly before they got ranked mode. So I'd expect us to either get ranked with the Argos update or like at the latest with the Valton update, but we'll probably be getting something around that time. We're not going to have ranked for at least another month, is what I would say.
All right. Someone else was asking, what is the best way to get Star's Breath? I found that you get some of them from doing, for example, world bosses. I believe some of the islands, or maybe I was seeing wrong. Maybe some of the islands also given daily quests. I think these three. Do you know any other ways, Lino? Of course, the cash shop also not. But I thought, any other.
I mean,
Not Lino, sorry, Wilky. My bad.
I mean, all I know is PvP tokens, brother. I don't know anything more than that.
Lino doesn't need Star's Breath. He has enough luck in PvP. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we unfortunately we don't have the PvP tokens, which is probably tied to the fact that there's no ranked PvP. This is something that also happened on the Russian server during off seasons. They kind of completely chopped off the tokens for whatever reason. So those systems seem to be linked. To the actual topic, Star's Breath, you said it. Una daily quests, you can use
Cube.
it from Marie's.
Yeah, people are saying Cube. That's true. That's true.
Yeah, Cube is one of the sources you didn't mention. Some field bosses drop them. I don't remember islands, but there might be some that I'm missing. Infinite Chaos Dungeons. So the Chaos Dungeons that you can do after the 2 initial runs that give you crystals and everything, if you get into gold portals, you actually get Star's Breath there. You also get Star's Breath and even a tradable version from the maps you get from Chaos Gates. And I think that's all the sources that I am familiar with. I think that should be it, yeah.
All right, perfect. I can actually see here in the stream that the actual stream itself has 252 likes, and I would just like to say that I'm incredibly disappointed. Next question here, and one that's easy to be answered. Can I dismantle whatever else if I start getting epic or higher? Yes, you can. Dismantle everything that you don't need, or well, don't just dismantle them just because they're in your bag. First, look at them. If they have good engravings, on them, or if they have good stats, then might as well sell them on the auction house. You would be surprised how many people actually buy tier 1 and also tier 2 ability stones. So don't just dismantle. First look and then dismantle. Yeah. This was everything for the podcast, guys. I thank you so much. We are approaching 2 hours here, and it was very lovely to have all of you here watching. It was very lovely to have Sadie typing on her keyboard.
That wasn't me. That wasn't
Okay,
me.
who was typing?
Excuse me, I'm answering messages in the chat.
Why do you
My
guys?
keyboard is here.
Why do you guys have so loud keyboards? Holy cow! I cannot even hear my thoughts. Wilky, why you need the? Okay, I'm gonna.
What
Next
do you
thing
mean? Those are mechanical keyboards. What are you using if not?
I'm using a $9 cheapest keyboard I found in my food supermarket.
That's because you're breaking them because you're raging in PvP, or why?
Yes, but at least it's silent. I can have a podcast. Okay, so as I was saying before, Wilky's keyboard rudely interrupted me. I thank you guys so much for watching today, and a huge thank you for Sadie for being here. Everyone's busy, by the way, streaming. Lino is streaming, Wilky is streaming, Sadie is streaming, going hardcore, 2 characters at the same time. I've never seen this before, but 2 thumbs up for this initiative. So I'm basically taking their time away from them, and I'm very grateful that they have taken this opportunity to be here with me. I hope you guys enjoyed and found a couple of answers. We're also in the same boat as you are, by the way, with the queues, with the frustration, with, we feel you in that sense. And no, we just maybe ask our cats to log in for us, as opposed to you who maybe don't have a cat or someone there. Took vacations also, by the way, for Lost Ark. So That's why maybe we don't just rage complain all the time, because maybe we've taken some measures, but we're in the same boat, and I wanted to assure you guys of that. Yeah, any closing words from some of my lovely guests here?
Oh, kitty cat.
Look at that. That's how you skip cues.
Yeah, thank you for having me, guys. It was a nice chat. I think, regardless of all of the issues that we're having right now, I think mostly I'm super glad that the launch was, very popular, and that we finally can have our forever home on our European servers now to put countless hours into. And yeah, I think it's going to be great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. Wilky, Lino, Sadie, thank you so much, and thank you so much to everyone who was watching.
Thank you for organizing it and having
Thank
us
you,
as
Sarah.
usual.
I wish you au revoir. Yeah, au revoir in French. Goodbye.
Have a great evening, everybody.
Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye bye.